Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. Got a question from a viewer who wants to know if switching to two-a-day training will help speed up his gains. Before I get into that topic, if you have a question, check out the link below. Submit your questions. Come straight to my inbox. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. So I got a question from a gentleman, and he has done 20 to 25 sets twice a week on each body part. So he's kind of doing an Arnold split, I assume. He's doing legs twice a week for 20 to 25 sets, back for 20 to 25 sets twice a week, chest, etc. And that's the rate of gains is not fast enough for him. So he is thinking about switching to two-a-day, and he wants to know if this will speed up his gains. First off, I will say that frequency, if you're not experiencing good gains, it's not the frequency that's the issue. If you're not experiencing quality strength gains, quality muscle gains, turning up the frequency, turning up the volume probably isn't the solution. If you can't make gains on 12 to 16 sets per major body part per week, something is broken. Something is broken. I don't recommend turning up the knob as far as volume and frequency. I recommend looking at each set as a unit and asking yourself, am I maximizing that set? You also need to take a strong look at your diet. You need to take a strong look at your numbers and ask yourself, am I making reasonable progression for a natural lifter? Am I making a reasonable rate of strength gains? Am I making a reasonable rate of muscle gains? And if you don't know what these are, you have to research. 9 times out of 10, you're making gains at an optimal rate or a near optimal rate, and there's nothing wrong. 9 times out of 10, a lifter who wants to turn up the volume to really crank up the gains and see if they can increase them to a rapid rate is simply impatient. This is not a game for the impatient. This is a long road. You have to go into the gym, you have to make every set count, and you have to be patient. You have to nail down your training, you have to nail down your diet, and you can add all the volume in the world, you can add all the frequency in the world, and in some cases that it is appropriate to do so. But most likely than not, if you're going to start training twice a week, or twice a day, 6 times a week, you're going to get overuse injuries and you're going to beat the living snot out of your body, especially if you're adding strength gains. So it's simply not a good idea for most people. What I recommend doing is taking a look at your strength gains. Where have you been the last 3 months, the last 6 months, the last year? If you don't know, come to me for advice and I'll help you out and I'll tell you if they're reasonable or not. Take a look at your measurements. You got to be taping your arms, your chest, your thighs, your calves, all that kind of good stuff. Where has your progress been the last 3 months, last 6 months, and last year? You need to look at these numbers. You need to look at the scale weight. You need to look at your measurements. You need to look at your diet. And you need to ask yourself, am I making reasonable progress compared to the information that's out there? And if you are, cranking up the volume is just going to be a recipe for overuse. You're going to abuse your body, and it's really going to catch up to you as you add strength. If you're not gaining weight, if you're not gaining muscle, and you're doing a reasonable training volume, a reasonable frequency each week, it isn't the frequency or the volume that's the issue. Your training and diet, either one of them or both of them suck. Either one or both suck. You need to take a long look at your training. You need to take a long look at your diet, and you need to do some soul searching. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you've made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.